What is going on, everyone? Mega here, and welcome to the third video in our devlog series. In this video, we continue with where we left off last time. But specifically, I'll be covering some new CGs for the visual novel project that I'm working on, as well as go over some texture maps I'm working on for the second project. And if you haven't seen the previous video, I'll leave a tab for you in the corner there, so you can check it out. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So unlike last time, I'm not gonna like open the actual game project. I'm just gonna I pretty much have the new CGs open already, and so I'm just gonna pretty much just talk about them. So yeah, this is the first of the new CGs that I have. If you checked out the previous video, you'll remember that this CG was based off of the one from the first video, but this is pretty much a day scene of the previous one, and the differences was that there was a car right here, but that at this point in the game, this car is no longer there, and so I added some clouds. I just really amped up the lighting, so now it actually looks like there's sun coming. There's actually like daylight coming against these buildings. And I added some cell shading to the actual environment itself, and I also fixed this road down here. If you remember, this road was completely black before. What the issue was is that there was an object in the scene that was pretty much that had no geometry whatsoever to it, but it was covering everything, and it was getting in the way of the actual scene, and that's what was causing the issue. So I figured it out, and I deleted the object, and so now the actual road shows up just like it's supposed to. Okay, and so if we move on to the next one, this one is you could say it's like the shopping district area. So this one I really spent quite a lot of time really trying to push that cell shading look, and you can see it in this in the shadows here, and you can these trees were made with the sapling generator within Blender. The only bad area I would say in this scene is this area right here. You can tell that it ends. So I might add some trees to that background just to hide that edge. That's also so like looks more natural, because you can see that it just ends right there. So I may fix this up a little bit more, but this is the second one that we have. And then the last one is our park scene. This one, there was a lot of fixing in this one. Specifically, the playground wasn't touching the ground. The trees were objects I found off of CG Trader, and so I actually used the sapling generator to create these trees, and I used an actual texture for shading it and everything, and I just like how I said in the previous one, there's no this one had an edge right here, but I covered it with some trees, so it looks natural, so it doesn't look like it just falls off there. And so yeah, and just as a comparison, this isn't the next one that I'm gonna be doing, but it's the next one in this folder. This is these. If you haven't seen the previous one, this is what the style of CGs that I was using, and you can see it's a lot different. Now this is I'm gonna redo this once I get to this scene, and this is gonna be turned to be cell shading, but this is really gonna change. So I just wanted to show this really quick. And so yeah, that's pretty much where I am on the visual novel project. Also, as I mentioned last time, if you want to see updates to this project before I post the devlog, feel free to check out my public Discord. Pretty much anytime I finish a CG for the project, I post it to the art channel in my Discord, so you all can see it before I post the devlog. Okay, and the link to that to this Discord will be in the description. So be sure to check that out. Okay, and that's pretty much what I got for the visual novel. In terms of the other project, we are making some good headway with it. So I'm just gonna pull it up really quick. In terms of the previous project, I recently finished the specular map for it. Well, when I mean specular finished, I mean sort of finished. Pretty much, I have the specular map all done. This is how it's looking right now. You can see, and you'll notice that there's gray areas and white areas. If you don't know too much about specular maps, pretty much how they work in terms of 3D is that a specular map is a black and white image. In fact, I'll actually pull up the specular map. So I'll just go do this, and let's pull it up. Yep. And so this is the specular. This is what a specular map looks like. You can see it's a black and white image, and there's gray and white areas. So pretty much how it works is that any area that's black gets no specular. Any area that's gray gets pretty much it acts like a gradient, and then the white areas get full specular. So pretty much what I'm doing with the gray areas is that I'm creating a gradient, and then that white area is the full specular. And so pretty much I have it set up as the hair highlights. And but one thing you'll notice, I have it right now as a color map just for demonstration purposes. But if you know anything about specular maps, specular only you can only have specular in the color of white, unless you add metallic to your material. Now, considering this is hair, I don't want metallic on it because hair is not metallic. Well, it could be considered metallic, but that's not really what I want. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a little workaround. Pretty much what I'm doing is that this is what I'm currently working on. This is just like I'm pretty much redoing my base color map, but this is my base color map. And so what I have is that pretty much what I'm doing is that I have my base color map, which is this one right here, and then I have my specular map on top of it, because what I'm doing is I'm pretty much coloring in red the areas that the specular map are going to affect. So that way, when the white light from the specular hits those red areas, because it's a color, it's going to tinge that white. It's going to pretty much tint it because the light has to go through that color. And so that's going to sort of, I'm pretty much trying to fake shadows pretty much. To pretty much just try to create the colored specular without having to do without having to do metallic. And so that's pretty much what I'm working on. Yeah, so I have to do color all the areas that the specular is going to affect. I'm coloring it in red, and then what I'm also doing is that on the edges, I haven't done it on this one yet, but you'll see on this one, like the edges are blurred. That way, like the red areas are mixing with the black areas of the base color, which is the base color that I'm using for the hair. And so that's going to create like a even more of a gradient. So that's just pretty much my styling. If you've seen like some of my I think I then demonstrated some of my visual novel art in the previous video. If you'll notice that for shadows for hair, I blur the edges because that's just my style. Like I like blurring edges on hair and skin to create a gradient, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing in here. I'm adding my little style to it. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working on right now, and that's pretty much what I got. Okay, and other than that, there is one final thing I wanted to go over. Very soon, the Patreon that I mentioned in the previous video will be open. For now, it will only be one tier at $1. And speaking of that, I will also mention that we are something else that I would like to announce, that with this Patreon, we are also putting together a community server that you will have access to via the Patreon. It's a server me and my team are putting a lot of work into, and from what we got so far, I'm very happy with it. And we've managed to put together. And this community server, it will be separate from my public server, and will only be available via becoming a Patreon. If you can't support ports, I completely understand that is why the public server is not going away. We are also going to be available on the public server just as much as we will be available on the community server. So yeah, that's what I've got for you so far. So yeah, this has been Mega, and I will see you again next time.